Hey, yo, what's up to everybody out there? This is another edition of the Roundtable Talk. I am your host, C Money, and this is a short, devastating episode. I am here at the corner of Northwest 36th Street and 42nd Avenue, just north of the Miami International Airport. And I was out running around doing some errands, and something caught my attention, and I got really disgusted because I wanted to grab something to eat. And in this area, there's two locations that I can get something to eat from. Well, actually three, but the third location I'm not reading. There's a Pollo Tropical, and there is two locations that I wanted to get something from. One of them is here, Burger King. And this Burger King, it's shut down. It literally is shut down. The lights are off, the lights are down. It looks like it's been shut down for a while. And I'm sitting here literally like, what the hell is going on? Now, this wasn't my first choice, and this was my second choice, because literally my first choice, and we're going to do a walk down this way. As you can see, this is an Office Depot, and under the Office Depot they have a Pollo Tropical sign. The Pollo Tropical actually sits next to this Burger King over here, but I'm not a big on Pollo Tropical fan, but we'll probably do a video of them later on down the line, because that is a Florida-based Hispanic chicken restaurant. Excuse me. And I actually am disgusted. Now, we just saw Burger King. They're closed. The lights are out. That was my second choice. Now, coming up to here is I did a video of one of the locations in Fort Lauderdale of this restaurant, and this was something that I wanted. I wanted to get a gyro from here, and I did a video of the grill. I've talked about it. This is Miami Grill. Now, this location was my first choice before I wanted to venture to Burger King. And look, this is closed too, and I am going crazy. Now, let me set the setting. We are north, just significantly north of the airport. 36th Street and 42nd Avenue starts. If you go west on 36th Street, which is going out this way, you can literally see the airport to your left. If you continue on 42nd Avenue going south, you can see the airport on your right. This is Miami Subs. Remember I told you that Miami Subs, well, it was named the Miami Subs in the 90s and early 2000s, and then around the time when Pitbull became a investor and became co-owner of Miami Subs, it turned into Miami Grill. And when I first started going to Miami Grill, when it was Miami Subs, I was going for their cheesesteaks, and I said, no, I can get that at Subway or a sub shop. And I started going for the gyros, because I don't go to a lot of Greek restaurants where they sell gyros, and I say Miami Subs to do. And this was one of the locations that is closest to where I live, and I decided to come out here. As you can see that the planes are hovering, you can hear the noise because of the airplanes. We're near the airport. This location is closed. Now, I googled online and searched the page. It says permanently closed. Now, it does look like they're doing construction here. Now, this is the drive-thru right here, because the window sits right there, and this is the drive-thru. So it does say that it is permanently closed, which is devastating. But as you can see, it does look like they'll do renovations to this place. Now, I don't know if they're renovating it to open it back up as a Miami Grill, or it's being renovated into another restaurant, because it doesn't say this restaurant or another restaurant coming soon. Now, this is the menu, which is still here. Now, this section right here near the wall, that is because remember I did a video at one in Broward. This was the only place I knew that actually had a bar. And this location where you see the little board hanging on leaning on the wall is where the bar actually sat, and they had TVs, and it was set up like a bar. And that's where the restrooms at back in there, and that was where the window and the registers and stuff like. This is devastating, because this goes back to being gentrified, because a lot of these businesses are being gentrified and being removed to be built for other things to be taken over and built. Now I'm going to go to the side of this building to see if there's any signage about this location, but I am very disgusted. It doesn't have any signage that says this place is closed, visit another location. It does say closed on here. Now just south of here, if you continue on 42nd Avenue, just before you get to Northwest 7th Street, because we are on 36th Street and 42nd Avenue. If you continue south and go just before 7th Street, there was another Miami Subs location that closed in the early 2000s. I believe it became a Latin or Mexican Spanish restaurant, and that was the southernest most Miami Grill that I knew of, and this became the southernest most Miami Grill that I knew of. A lot of the locations I told you are in the northern part of Miami and in Broward and further up. I don't think there is a location in the I believe there's a location down, because I believe we did an episode when we did the Kmart episode, when we visited the last Kmart in the United States. I believe there's a Miami Grill at that location in Kendall. But as far as this is devastating, folks. I am shocked to see that a lot of our restaurants that we grew up on, and not only that, a lot of the restaurants that we frequently visited, is getting closed. Because I honestly was going to order online, and I'm thankful that I didn't order online. I said, no, I'm gonna just go in, I'm gonna pay cash. I don't want to order online, because I never really ordered online with Miami Grill. I've always did, cash, or I paid with card and I ordered on the inside. But I'm glad I didn't, because I Googled it and it says permanently closed. And then I decided to want to go to Burger King, and they're closed. And I'm like, oh my God. And now I am devastated, because I'm like, what is going on? It is getting to the point where it's getting out of hand, where a lot of these restaurants are closing. Some of them are closing because of undetermined reasons, and then some others are getting closed to open up restaurants where you got to pay $20, $30, $40 just for a plate of food, and then you walking out of there half broke. Remember, you used to go in with $20 and you could get a combo for about $12, $13, $14 or so. That's including fries and a drink, or including a side or something. Now you're paying almost $30 for a combo, and that's for one person. And now this is devastating. This is they had I was going to get the cheesesteak with the seasoned fries, not the cheesesteak. I was going to get the gyro with this seasoned fries and a drink. But this is even good. And now there's nothing over here. Like, I can continue going west and go to one of the places down west, but I just refuse to go anywhere else. I said, okay, since Miami Subs is closed, let me go to Burger King. And I get the Burger King, and they're closed. And I know that Pollo Tropical is probably, if Pollo Tropical is still there, because apparently now you're closing a lot of them. And this is what the people in the area used to shop at. This is their, they have a lot of hotels over here and a lot of motels. And back of this is called the Aladdin Motel, which is a prestige motel that most locals go to. And they have several motels in the area. If you know this area well, they have several motels along the Okeechobee Road, and there are a lot of hotels here for visitors. Across the street over here, that's the Holiday Inn. And of course you can tell that's the Holiday Inn because of the green lightning. But if you can see at the top of the building, you can see the little H sticking out. That's a Holiday Inn. And a lot of these people who visit and stay in these hotels, they come to Burger King and they come to Miami Subs Grills. The last time I was here at this Burger King, I had an incident with me and my girl, and we had an incident here at the Burger King. Now, it was they was being rude, and I had a rude incident, but I don't know the reason why the Burger King got closed. I don't know the reason why this Miami Subs got closed, but I just know that as Americans, we gotta stop this. We gotta find some way to keep these restaurants open, even if you're just going in there for a drink or for a soda or something. I mean, I know that this Miami Subs was making money, because I was one of the good contributors, because I came here often, and I know that Burger King was making money because it's the only Burger King here in the area where, by the airport. I'm quite sure there's a Burger King further down, but that's going towards the rail. But a lot of these places, they are getting closed for no reason. You know, and this is by the airport. A lot of these restaurants by the airport makes a lot of money. And I don't understand. And then this one, like I told you, had a bar and it was making money. Why it closed? Now, I don't know the main reason, if it's getting renovated to reopen back up as a Miami Grill, or is it getting renovated to be opened up as another restaurant. But on Google, it does say permanently closed. Normally, when a restaurant is going to open back up or they close for renovations, they normally put temporarily closed. But this is permanently closed. I am mad. We as Americans gotta support these restaurants. I've said this in several of my previous episodes, support these businesses so they won't go away. I said it in the Kmart episode. I've said it in the 163rd Street Mall and all of these other businesses. Support these businesses so they won't get closed. Even though I don't know what caused this Burger King and this Miami Grill to close, but I'm sure, you know, maybe one of the reasons, maybe it was, the health inspection closed it, or maybe because of sales and stuff. But they make money because this is in the airport area. But honestly, I'm disgusted because this is what America's coming to. A lot of these restaurants, and then when they get closed, they sit abandoned for years. Nobody wants to buy it out or turn it into something. It gets abandoned. Now, this restaurant looks like the Miami Grill looks like it's about to be something because it does see construction in it. The Burger King, on the other hand, looks like it's closed and look like there's no way and chance that's getting renovated into something else. I've seen a lot of KFCs that have got closed down, and a few of them have been turned into like mom and pop restaurants, and you can tell that it's a KFC because they don't renovate the outside. The outside still looks like a KFC. Like, there's a location of a place called Snappers, and I don't know if I ever did an episode of Snappers, where it's in the Liberty City area. If you look at the location, it was previously a Bojangles. Now, where the Burger King sits at in Office Depot, there was a Bojangles that sat over here from the late 90s and probably the early 2000s. And it was the last remaining Bojangles. And I believe that's probably where the Burger King sat at, is where the Bojangles was. And the Bojangles, that was the last remaining Bojangles here in South Florida, and then they closed. And the next remaining Bojangles is up in Sanford, Florida, because I visited it a couple of years back when I went to Orlando with my friends. And this was probably back in, it was in 2023, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this is devastating. I want to know, have y'all ever been to this Miami Grill? Have you ever been to this Burger King? Or, let me know, comment at the bottom of this page. Or let me know, have you had a restaurant that you love so dearly and you find out just by going there that it closed down and it just broke your heart and devastated? Because there has been several restaurants that I frequently visited and it got closed down, whether it's in a shopping mall, whether it was a standalone restaurant. There was many of them. And I got so devastated to where I almost cried. So I want to know, put the name in the comments. Now I have to go somewhere else and find me something else to eat. So let me know in the comments. Let me know how you feel. VonTable00@yahoo.com. Comment at the bottom of this page. I thank you for watching. I'm your host, C Money. Now I have to try to go find something else to eat before I head home. If not, I'm just going to go home and find something at home, which I didn't want to do. I had my heart set on the gyro, but now apparently that's not going to happen. So let me know how you feel. Roundtable Talk. I'm your host, C Money. See you in the next episode. Take care.